Morning, everyone. Hope you're well. Horrible taste in my mouth this morning, and I brushed my teeth 3 times, and it's still there. You know what? And I defended Ollie for a long, long time. I sometimes feel that people are overreactionary and their standards and expectations that are too high. But I've listened to what Patrice Evra and Gary Neville have had to say. I'm looking at the treatment of Donny van der Beek. Axel Tuanzebe, the treatment of him has been disgraceful. The lack of wins, only winning, in the last 10 months, only winning 7 out of 10 games. We have these occasional fluky performances like we get against Paris Saint-Germain where, Paris Saint-Germain don't turn up and it's like, all things are going to be good. And we all get gassed by it. And I'm one of the worst for that. Like, genuinely, I'm one of the worst for that. I look at that kind of performance and it's like, oh, yeah, this was great. But we have no system. We have no tactics. Worst start in 50-odd years, I'm reading this morning in the league. And as far as I'm concerned, Ollie's got to go. I'm genuinely at that point now where I think there's no more defending him. I can't understand where the defense is coming from anymore from people. I'm going to delve into that in a little bit more detail, so do bear with me. I'm going to break this down for you. Before we go any further, please hit that like button for me. It's so important that we get that done as a channel. It's not about whether you agree with my points of view or not. It's about supporting independent YouTubers. We need your help because we're often buried and pushed behind the other channels on a regular basis. So really need your help with that. We do. Skype lines are going to open soon. So search Football Terrace FC if you want to call in. But more importantly than all of that, in the link, there's a link in the description below to sign up to our brand new mail list and newsletter. Got some big competitions on the way to win microphones, cameras, a PS5, some new football boots, football shirts as well. Sign up for free now by clicking on the link below. Just putting in some few basic details, letting us know what team you support as well. Over 700 people have signed up. The big competition is starting soon, and you won't hear about the competition unless you sign up to that. So please go and do that now. Let's look at some of the comments here. True United fans are backing the club legend Ollie. Well, let's go through that in detail as to why this morning I've decided to join the mob, essentially, to back what Patrice Evra is saying and no longer support anything that Ollie is doing. Because let's break it down. Axel Tuanzebe. It's a disgrace. You cannot put in a performance like Axel Tuanzebe put in against Paris Saint-Germain, stopping 2 of the best players in the world, and then not start the next game. You can't do it. It's outrageous. It's outrageous that any manager who knows anything about football, that knows anything about sport, anything about health and fitness, would dare drop Axel Tuanzebe after he puts in one of the best defensive performances of any Man United player for the last 10 to 20 years. It was sublime. How dare he be dropped? Now, I don't care that he was out injured for 10 months. I don't care that the sports scientists have said that if you play him in 2 games back-to-back within a week, he's at high-level risk of a recurrence of the muscular injuries that kept him out for 10 months. I don't care that it was playing him 3 times in a week and a half back in December 2019 that led to the 10-month injury. I don't care. You cannot drop a player after he played the way he did. Simple, point blank, not debating it. Secondly, Donny van der Beek. I don't care for any reason not to be starting him. None. I don't care that we conceded 12 goals in our first 3 Premier League games. 11, 12 goals in our first few Premier League games, whatever it was. I don't care that we needed to create some stability, stop conceding goals from open play, and grow the confidence back within the team after being destroyed and obliterated by Tottenham. I don't care about any of that. Van der Beek has to start the game. I don't care that the media told us that Donny van der Beek all summer was an unnecessary signing and we didn't need him. And now they're saying it's an abomination we're not playing him. They're right. Of course it's an abomination we're not playing him. The no tactics element. Do you know what annoys me about this? We fluke results like yesterday because Chelsea were being negative. We fluke results against Paris Saint-Germain because Thomas Tuchel got his system wrong. If teams turn up against us, we always lose. It's a fact. We can't have a system. It isn't like against Paris Saint-Germain, we kept ourselves in the game, changed formation at the 60th minute, and then dominated proceedings. It isn't like we did that yesterday against Chelsea either, where we changed systems throughout the game, become the aggressor, and almost won. Didn't work. It's all fluke. Back in January 2020, Ollie's win percentage as a manager across all competitions from being as a permanent manager was at 39%. And we demanded an improvement. And look, I'll give Ollie credit. It has improved. It has improved. And it now currently stands about 72% from that point. From the stage that we demanded it, from the stage that we had articles after the back-to-back defeats to Liverpool and Burnley, you know what? We need an improvement right now, Ollie, because right now, my friend, you have not been good enough. Simple and as straightforward as that. Your performances as manager have simply not been good enough. There's no doubt about that. He has improved it to 72%. Now, 72% might be above the win percentage that Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp both have respectively as their time as Liverpool and City managers. It might be about 13% higher than Sir Alex Ferguson's average season win ratio. It might mean we're winning 7 out of 10 games that we play in, but I want more than that. Why should I drop my standards because Ollie can only win 7 out of 10 games? I don't know exactly what I want it to be, but I want more than 7 out of 10. I'm also disgraced that this season, our win percentage has dropped to 62.5%. I'm disgraced by that. I don't care that Frank Lampard's is 33% this season. I don't care that Arteta's is 50% this season. I don't care that Jurgen Klopp and Jose Mourinho's is 60% this season. 62% for Ollie and Man United is not good enough. It just isn't good enough. I don't care that we had one of the best defensive records in the Premier League last year. Most improved records in the Premier League last year. I don't care that we had one of the best defensive records in Europe last year. I don't care that in the last 3 games, after getting drummed 6-1 by Tottenham, that our opponents haven't scored a goal against us in open play or from set pieces themselves. They may have been 2 fluky own goals. I don't care about that at all. That's just fluke. That's them not turning. It's Newcastle were trash. Paris Saint-Germain got their tactics wrong, and Chelsea parked the bus. That's why we didn't concede. It's nothing to do with the system, the style, the positioning. Nothing to do with Lindelof and Maguire putting in good performances. Nothing to do with Aaron Wan-Bissaka turning around his early season poor performances and being an absolute don. It's nothing to do with the patterns of play that ensure our defenders are in the right spaces at the right times when teams are attacking us to intercept balls and make clearances and make tackles. I ain't happy with any of that. I don't want us to have a good defensive record. I want us to just outscore our opponents. I want us to be open. I want us to be free-flowing. I don't care if we can see 4 goals as long as we score 5. That's all I care about. For me, I'm just sick to my back teeth of Ollie not improving as a manager, picking the players that I don't like, not picking the players that I like, not playing football in the way in which I want, and just simply not living up to my expectations. He isn't doing what I want him to do. And do you know what? Even when I do set him an expectation that he achieves, winning more games in the last 31 matches than every other single manager in the Premier League. When I beg him to stop us leaking goals, and he does. When I beg him to make us score more goals, and we do. When I beg him to win more games, and we do. When I pray that we make it into the top 4 as a minimum, and we do. It still isn't good enough. It's never going to be good enough. No matter what Ollie does, I'm never going to be satisfied with him. So I want him at the club now. I want him gone now. What's the point of Ollie being here? Because I'm never going to like him. What's the point of Ollie being here? Because I'm never going to endear to him as a manager. And in every single game, no matter what we achieve, I'm going to find the negatives. Every single time a player that Ollie likes, that I don't like, puts in a good performance, I'm just going to blame it. I'm going to blame it on the opponents not being good enough. Yesterday, Maguire was great. No, he wasn't. Should have given away. I'm a Man United fan and I'm angry. I'm angry that we didn't concede a penalty yesterday. We were brilliant against Paris Saint-Germain. No, we weren't. Paris Saint-Germain, I'm disappointed that Paris Saint-Germain weren't at their brilliant best and didn't destroy us. That's what I'm angry about. I want us to fail, actually. Let me put this out there now. I want Man United to fail so I can say I was right about Ollie. That's what I want right now. I want us to fail. I want us to crash. I want us to burn. And I want the media to write articles that feed into what I want. I want Sam Luckhurst and all these cronies there to free Van der Beek. Yes, I want to see that. Let's talk about Axel Tuanzebe. Let's ignore what leading sports scientists and doctors say about his physical condition playing 2 games back-to-back. We want him in the team. Do you know what's interesting, though? If we do get a few good results and have Van der Beek on the bench like Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain and we win, let's not do free Van der Beek then because it doesn't really fit when you beat Paris Saint-Germain. But aside from that, keep doing it. We love it. Thank you. And on what Patrice Evra said, he's right. This is the final straw for me. What Patrice Evra said was absolutely bang on. Bang on. You should always pick your best technical football players in every single game you play in. And he's right. He's fundamentally right. You can't get away from it. Because I remember in every single big game that Patrice ever played in as a Man United player, Fergie picked our best technical players. He never, ever put Park Ji-sung in the middle to do a man marking job. He never put Phil Jones on a player to do a man marking job. He never packed the midfield with Darren Fletcher's and John O'Shea's. He never did that. Sir Alex Ferguson only ever picked our best players for every single game, for every single match. Facts. We never played 5 at the back. We never went into games looking for a draw. Every single match Fergie ever played as the Man United manager, he went on the attack. Home, away, against the best or the worst team in the league or in Europe, we attacked. It's why the Stretford then sing attack, because that's all we've ever done. We never played on the counter. We never absorbed pressure and sprung. We never smashed and grabbed the result. Never happened. Never once did we sit there and go, do you know what? We can't play this off the park. Let's sit there and hold on in and push back. Evra is absolutely right. Absolutely right. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I've been absolutely suckered in by supporting Ollie and any manager, really, that doesn't give me what I want. Simple as that for me. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, I appreciate it. I want your views on this. We're going to open the Skype plans right about now. Before we do, smash that like button for us, please. I want your opinions on this matter right about now. Sign up to our mail list and sign up to our newsletter. The link to do that is inside our description below. Amazing. About 8 of you have signed up during this live stream, which is absolutely brilliant. So please go and sign up to that right about now. Sky plans are open. Give us a call. I want to hear from you right about now. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling. Make sure you're hitting that like button, as I say. We've got Abs here on the line. Abs, welcome to the Football Terrace. What are you saying? Hello, Abs.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. You just about to speak. You got to speak a little quicker than that. I'm really sorry, mate. Try calling back. We'll get you back on the air. We'll get you back on the air, please. He has called back straight away. Abs, are you there, mate?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, lovely. What do you want to say?
How are you doing, mate?
I'm fine.
Yeah. I kind of agree but disagree with you. I'm in the middle. I'm not Ole out. I'm not this kind of people saying PE teacher and all. But Ole will, yesterday's game, Ole the people I talked to were saying that Ole didn't take the momentum of Paris Saint-Germain game to the Chelsea game and win it. But I cannot disagree with that. But I'm also looking other side that we haven't kept a clean sheet for a long while, and Chelsea are a good team, and we defended and kept a clean sheet. I think if we
Yeah.
win against Arsenal and draw against Everton or win both, I think the people will be on track again.
But you know, I understand where you're coming from. My view is just simply this: because I don't like Ollie, and because Ollie isn't a good enough manager. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Clean sheets are only any good if we're winning games. They're no good in any way because Man United Football Club, our standards are that we never, ever, ever draw games at home to top 6 teams. That's the standard. It's as simple and it's as straightforward as that. We never, ever have done it. Fergie didn't do it. Sir Matt Busby never did it against title rivals or our contenders or people at our level. Never, ever, 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 ever has it ever happened in the past. It's never, ever happened, ever. Let's call the show. Amar is on now. Sorry, Amar is on now. Welcome to the show. What do you want to say?
Hello.
Yes, mate. What do you want to say?
Oh, mate, what is going on with Man United fans? I'm like, this is crazy. The volatility now. It's like, what was so different about the performance yesterday than the PSG and the Newcastle? We set out very similar, but for a goal, nicking it. Like, this is like fans are just going absolute crazy. Like, it's the draw. We got a fucking, sorry, bad language, clean sheet. This is just madness. The level of like scrutiny we're under. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's. I hope. Yeah, listen,
Terry. Sorry, I only just caught the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. And listen, from my point of view, you are right. I'm sitting here this morning and I'm being exceedingly sarcastic, and exceedingly.
I did just catch the nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So
yeah, it is what it is, and because there are so many. There are things to genuinely criticize Ollie about, and I get it.
Yeah.
But like I keep saying, nobody will be able to nail down for you what they actually want him to do. Anyone that's Ollie out won't be able to specifically tell you what they want. They say very ambiguous things like create a recognizable style of play that we're entertained by and we really, really like. Okay, but how many games has he got to win with that? Because what if he creates a style that you enjoy watching, but we imagine this, we change our style and it's more entertaining, but the win percentage drops to 50%. What would you rather? Exactly. What we've done in the last 10 months where we've won 72% of our games, or a better style? Like, I get what they want. We want a better style and we want to maintain the win percentage, but you're not always going to get that in life. And I think that when you set those kind of expectations, you set yourself up for failure. You're always going to be disappointed. You know, I was looking at the elements of it, and it's like whatever Ollie does to improve the team, we get moaned at. 3 games ago, it was we have to stop conceding goals. We kind of have stopped. Although we conceded against Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain, they were fluke own goals. We've stopped conceding.
Yeah. And
yet everyone's angry about it, because we're not playing as open and as expansive as we were. When we tried doing that, we were getting beat. They were moaning. When you're Ollie out, that's the point I'm saying. When you're Ollie out, you're Ollie out. And we're now even seeing journalists and pundits become shock jockeys. What Patrice Evra said yesterday was a disgrace. That you should always pick your best technical football players. Absolute nonsense. I love Evra, but what he said yesterday was wrong.
Yeah, he's now starting to become like every other pundit, sensationalism. And it's like he's either not being used elsewhere, and he's come on Sky Sports, and it's like, this is all they want to do now, just like who can create shock horror. This is what pundits are doing. There's less sports analysts going on, analytical views about the game, and it's more about shock.
I haven't seen a single sports pundit discuss the science behind Tuanzebe not playing in the game.
Exactly.
And what happens is, I kind of get the Donny van der Beek thing. Donny van der Beek didn't play yesterday because of an Ollie mistake, because he started Dan James, and it ended up meaning we didn't have enough substitutes remaining with the way with the way the game went for him to come on. And I was disappointed by that. But I'm not outraged by it, because the previous 2 games we did the same thing almost, and we ended up winning those matches. We'd have won if Rashford's shot at the end went in. There'd be no talk about Van der Beek today. It's done as a side note, and then you add layers to the anger to keep people frustrated, and you see that with the Tuanzebe thing. I wanted Tuanzebe to play until we heard what the sports scientists at Man United had to say, that there'd be a higher risk of another muscular injury if he was to play, because he was red zoned. Now, these same Man United fans that are Ollie out in January, when Rashford got his back injury that was already hurt and they played him, were outraged that Ollie took the risk with him. Instead of coming out and saying, no, Ollie has actually done here what I wanted him to do and not play Tuanzebe. I'm going to add it to my level of anger and insult and frustration. It's as simple as that. Bro, I appreciate your call when you come on and having your say. I really appreciate it. Thank you, mate. Some super chats here says, you almost had me there for a second. Listen, I respect people that don't want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the club. I truly, truly respect that. But at least tell me what your expectations are. Set a standard, and some of it has to be statistical. Some of it has to be factual and not subjective. It has to be an objective achievement. Win X amount of games, finish in certain place in the league, achieve this, achieve that. And if he achieves it, I want to see you, you have to then allow him a body of time before you jump off on the criticism. So let's just say somebody says, I want an 80% win ratio. If he achieves that over, say, a 20-game period, how long do you then give him before you start attacking him again? You have to almost set a standard. And when you achieve that standard, Ollie, I'll get fully behind you. And getting fully behind somebody means you allow them a certain level of mistakes and things to go wrong, because every single manager in every single game for the eternity of football will get slight things wrong, or the team won't quite perform, or will scrape that result, or I should have made the substitution 10 minutes earlier. What does he have to do to get to a point where you're not over scrutinizing him? That's what I'm asking. The problem is with the Ollie Outlot, they won't give you that answer, because they know if they give you the answer and he achieves it, they put themselves into a corner. The one guy I respect in all of this is Rance. Rance has it on point. Rance is the only guy that will openly state, I don't care what Ollie does, I won't back him. I respect that because at least he's honest. Everybody else is they think what Rance thinks, but they don't want to say it. They don't have the confidence to say, I'm never going to back him. Never, ever, ever are they going to have the confidence to turn around and do that. And that's more frustrating. I respect Rance massively for the way he goes about it, the way he does it, the way he conducts himself. There's no doubt about that at all. Nobody here with a super chat says, need to play our game in hand ASAP. League table is deceiving. Yeah, I watched Mark Goldbridge this morning and he said the same thing. And I agree with him completely on that, if we play Burnley midweek and we win and we win 3-0 and we jump to 4th in the league or whatever it may be, there'd be less frustration. Another thing, worst league start in however many years. Yeah, this season is not really a great barometer for good or bad starts to the season. You know what I mean? The current champions and perceived best team in the world, they're sitting second, but they've been rank average themselves. Let's give it another 4 or 5 games before we start to have this crazy reaction. That's my view. Anyway, Z, you can call back if you want to, mate. Comment here from the United Truth says, Ollie is not a consistent manager, and that's the players also, but Bucks with the managers we have. I don't quite get what you mean by that comment, bro. I wish I did understand it. Do me a big favor, people. Smash that like button for us right now, and please sign up to the Football Terrace newsletter. The link for that is inside our description below. We can do bi-weekly newsletters. Once we build up the number of people on the mail list, that's where you'll start receiving notifications for us going live for streams. So you won't ever miss a live Football Terrace stream again. We're also going to be running some massive competitions over the course of the next month to win football boots, football shirts, brand new Rode mic, brand new HD cameras. And we're going to be giving away a PlayStation 5 with the brand new FIFA game as well. But you have to be signed up to our mailing list to get that done. There's 1,500 of you tuning in right now. Click on the link below. Get yourself signed up for us right about now. It'd be amazing if you could do that to enter that competition and also keep yourselves sort of up to date what's going on with the Football Terrace. It really, really would. We've got Z on the line now. Z, what do you want to say, mate?
Mate, I'm more onto Patrice Evra. I found what you were saying yesterday. It was disgusting to hear that from a United legend, and after he starts saying, it's about the fans. He was even getting onto hassle and saying stuff like, are you satisfied with this draw? Are you satisfied with this? Are you satisfied with that? No one said they're satisfied with the draw. Hasselbank sat there and said, it's the process. Because if Chelsea then, with this draw, go on to win 5, and they build on for this, we'll look back and say, this is the result where it started. And, you'd prefer a legend to come up with those kind of theories rather than, we have to play our best team, we have to do this, we have to do that. I think this is not a popularity contest to impress, to get that small minority of fans that are all out on your side, because it just don't make no sense. You should be able to be like, Maguire had a fantastic performance, minus, the little wrestling. And Lindelof had a great performance. All the questions, defensive questions were answered yesterday. We should be proud of that, rather than just everything else.
Do you know what, bro? Like I say, people are saying to me, where's this 72% win ratio coming from? Well, and this is where context, this is where the Ollie out mob have got to answer our questions for us. And the reason I say that is because I want to say this in the right way. I want to be respectful when I say this. In January, it was when all these statistics were being pushed out. You can find the articles: Manchester Evening News, Daily Mail, The Sun did one, but please don't read that one. The Mirror did it. A lot of big sports bloggers did articles around Ollie's win percentage as a permanent manager. That caused an argument at the time because a lot of us were like, well, why are you discounting what he did as an interim manager? But okay, as a permanent manager, it was like a 39% win ratio. And everybody was like, that's a disgrace. And I agree with you. Over that 32 game period, by the way, up to that point, this is why what I'm saying is so significant. That 32 game period, the win percentage was 39% and it was deemed terrible. Over the same game time period since, when you demanded an improvement, we've gone to a 72% win ratio. In that time, compared to the previous, we've increased our clean sheets by nearly 125%. We went from scoring on average 1.7 goals per game to over 2 goals per game. We went from conceding over a goal per game to under a goal per game. So defensively, we improved. Our attacking improved. And our win percentage went to 72%, which is above the average of Pep Guardiola at Man City, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that means you should... That in its instance should make you turn around and be like, oh, he's as good as Pep. No, only a dickhead would think I'm saying that. Only a fool would think I'm saying that. What I'm suggesting is that it means you've been given the improvement that you demanded back in January. Why are you not recognizing it? Why are you ignoring it? What you're doing again is you're going to move the goalposts. And then what happens again? We could get all the Ollie out mob on here now and they could put the new goalposts down. If Ollie achieves them, they'll then find a reason to push them back further. Again, ITS phoned up yesterday and did it. Moaned on this show about how bad we were defensively after getting slapped up in those 3 games. Told you Ollie has no system, can't keep anybody out. Since then, we've come back, played 3 games. We've scored 6 goals across those 3 games. Yes, we didn't score yesterday, barring some good saves. And he's like, well, I don't care about the clean sheets. It's because we've sacrificed our attacking game to get clean sheets. That wasn't what he said when we beat Newcastle 4-1 and we beat Paris Saint-Germain. Nobody said we sacrificed our attacking game in those matches whilst competing brilliantly in a defensive capability. You get my point. The goalposts are always going to be moved, which is why I did the video the way I did today, because what's being said is ridiculous. And the only person I give respect to in the Ollie out mob is Rance, because Rance openly states, I don't care what Ollie does. I'm never going to back him. At least he's honest about it. Do you get where I'm coming from, bro?
Yeah, I get that. With me, like I say, Rance has got good football intelligence. I don't necessarily agree with all of his points, but in terms of him being direct and saying Ollie out and sticking by it, you have to respect it. My thing is now with this whole Ollie out is the fans need to start taking things into consideration. Okay, you want Poch to play more attractive football. Have you seen Poch's record against the top 6? So if Poch came in and had lost that and then lost against Arsenal next week, would you be saying still Poch in? These are things that a lot of people choose to ignore. But when you bring out the stats for Ollie, they'll be like, that's not how it looks on the pitch. But it's not about how it looks on the pitch. This is what's going on.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And that's the point. I'm not even. If Poch comes in, do you know? Everyone's got to realize I'm going to back him like I want to back Ollie, in the sense of I'll have my expectations that are personal, and I'll look at what I think the club's expectations should be, and I'll do it. If Poch comes in and the football's better, but we're only winning 50% of our games, I'm not going to be happy in the medium to long term. In the first instance, you're like, well, let's give him some time. But if 18 months in, he's only winning 35, 45, 50, 55% of games. No, I think we need to be at a point where we're in the high 50s. Where we've got to be in this, high 50s is where you've got to be as a minimum in terms of your win percentage. Why do I say that? That was what Fergie's average was per season. He'd win across all competitions. You win about that. In the Premier League, you'd have to look at it slightly differently. In the Premier League, you might need to be in the mid 60s to high 70s if you've got any chance of winning league titles. But that's what my standard is. The style of football is important to me, but not as much as winning the games. And
I think some of the best football we played was under Van Gaal. And this is my thing. People want to play more attractive football. When we was playing that possession-based football, keeping the ball and everything, yeah, we lacked a bit of penetration at the end of it. People complained. Like, you lot have had all those samples of footballs that you lot, as fans, want. Why are we not just sticking by our manager, backing him? Because let's be honest, if Lampard never had this rocky start to the season, we'd be walking into this game like, oh, we're going to get battered. When we lost to Tottenham, everyone was thinking these games are the out games. And now he's come out with a draw, and he's come out with...
just over a week ago, before we played Newcastle, we thought we were going to get battered in this game, ripped apart, torn apart. Most Chelsea fans that came on the show were either confident of a win or a score draw. They weren't fearful of us. It's one of the reasons Chelsea fans are so angry today about the non-penalty that was given for the Maguire foul, is because that's the only thing in the whole game they've got to hold on to. They did nothing. They were completely shut out, shut down, and stopped by Man United. And it's frustrating to them.
And they have their strongest team with a back five.
Exactly, bro. It's absolutely it. It's absolutely it, Z. And look, for me, it's not about blindly backing Ollie or blindly backing any manager. It's about having your standards. And this is what, and I need to do this more. Is okay, well, what do I want? I can demand what I want the style of football to look like, but you're on a hiding to nothing, because if we hire a manager next whose style of football I don't necessarily enjoy, if I just go straight into the X out club, that's just me not going to enjoy my club. So, okay, if we bring in Ancelotti, I know what style of football he plays. So I've got to get... Yeah. What I want is play your style of football, but win a certain amount of games. Do you get what I mean? Over a course of time. That's what the standard's got to be. Saying, I want a style of football, saying I want to win 70% of games, I want the style of football to be how I want, and he's got to pick the players that I want, and he's got to make the substitutions at the time of the game that I want, and he's got to make the signings that I want, and he's got to say the things in press conferences that I want. That's ridiculous.
Look, you look at it for now. You look at it now. This is what I say when I say success papers over cracks, because I'm an openly honest United fan that can admit Fergie's success papered over a lot that people complain about certain managers. And that's the thing. If you look at Pep now, everyone's attacking Pep. But if you look at the 3 years that United went without winning the title, how many of these United fans are saying, oh, yeah, would attacked Fergie those days? These are things that people weren't paying attention to. Or the times in Europe when we was going out to the lesser Spanish teams and, German teams, and we were doing poorly. Like, people chose to ignore that because we were winning the title time and time and again. But we had bad moments, worse than what we've had under Ollie, and people still back to Fergie. Why? Because of the success part of it. But it took Fergie 4 years.
Yeah, mate. And listen, I don't care about anybody's. I do care about people's opinions. Let me phrase it in the right way. If you don't want Ollie in, you don't want Ollie in. But stand by what you say. What I see so much from people is, I want these 5 things. You've got 4 of those 5. Is that enough to stop you moaning? No. Someone tweeted me yesterday saying, yeah, but it's just the amount, it's just the mistakes that he makes. I'm like, well, how many mistakes is he allowed to make before you moan? Because if you want him to be perfect in every game, in every press conference, in every signing that's made by the club, you're setting him up for failure. And I always give the example of this. The reason I'm so hell-bent on this is I had a manager once who I felt treated me so disrespectfully. And I'll tell you what he used to do. He'd come into my branch when I was a bank manager and say, this area, so I'll give you the example, was our iPad usage. So we used to have to use, if you've been in local branches of banks in the last sort of 4 or 5 years, a lot of stuff have iPads there. So this is when they first got introduced to the banking floor. He said, you don't use your iPads. You're one of the worst in the country, the worst in our area, and the worst in our region. And I said, look, we had 3 or 4 other things we had to fix in the branch. We haven't even taken them out of boxes yet. That's why we're down the bottom, right? But we'll fix up. So we spent 2 months training the staff, integrating them into our system in the branch. Inside 2 months, we become the 5th best in the country, to a point where the bank said, right, we're going to give you more iPads because you're so good at them, right? I remember thinking my one-to-one is going to be amazing, right? I fixed the thing. By the way, the rest of my performance stayed pretty much where it was before, the things he didn't moan about. Came in, did barely mention that we become the 5th best in the country, best in the area, best in the region, and started moaning about another thing he wanted to be improved. And this systematically happened to me every month in my one-to-ones for 12 months before I moved on to a different department. And it drove me insane because it was like, I'm one of these people where I work hard for the company I'm at. I work hard for my bosses. I want to impress. I want to do what's being required of me. But not once was any of my improvements recognized. All that happened is it was a new thing they were unhappy with. I fixed that, and it was another new thing they were unhappy with. And it wasn't like I was dropping a ball. It was, okay, fix all those things. Let's look at this area now, which you want to improve. And do you get where I'm coming from? And that's what I think these people are doing to Ollie. It's, I want you to win more games. Oh, he's winning more games. I want you to win more games, but concede less. Oh, he's doing that. He's winning more games, concede less. Okay, and it gets right down to sort of specific time, but I want you to do all those things, but Tuanzebe's got to be fitted into the team as well. Do you get what I mean? Every time he improves something, there's another layer added. And that's why, like I say, it's why I respect Rance. Because Rance is like, I don't care about any of that. I just don't want him at the club. He isn't good enough. And I love that approach because you're laying it out there for everyone to see. What I don't like about we've got people on our channel that do it, and they're going to get called out tonight on the United show. Just say what you really want. And it doesn't matter what Ollie does. You're never going to get behind him because this sort of sitting on the fence, getting splinters in your ass nonsense is a madness. But Z, thank you very much for coming on the show, mate. I really appreciate it as ever. Nick P with a super chat here says, Terry will tell you what the problem is with Ollie. It's the fact that he's Ollie. He will always be the man who came in to do a bit of hoovering and got given one of the world's top positions at the football club. I do hear you on that. We're going to do one more call here. We've got TJ United on the line. TJ United, what you saying, bro? Thank you for the super chat, Nick P, by the way. TJ, what you saying?
Yeah, Terry, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. You got the last call. You got about a minute. What do you want to say, brother?
Okay, well, I want to back Ali, but Ali's making it hard for himself, man. I really want to back Ali, but Ali needs to do better, man. He needs to be better. Why is Dan James in the team, man?
Yep, but listen, that is an individual mistake I agree with. When you say he's got to be better, in his last 31 games, we've won 72% of them, which is phenomenal. It's above the win ratio on average that Pep and Klopp get each season. How much better do you need him to be over a medium to long term period? Because we look at it in the short term, and we get angry over or overly gassed or overly angry over individual games. I don't necessarily think that's helpful. So over, say, the next 10 games, how many does he need to win?
Well, I'm not really looking at it from that angle. I'm looking on it from the team selection.
Yeah, okay, but for me, team selection is a byproduct. The end of the day, he needs to. It's a results-driven. By Aaron's tweet, like it's a results-driven business. So out of every 10 games, how many does Ollie need to win for you to stay on side with him? That's in the cold light of day. We can assess what he says in press conferences, who he picks, who he drops, when he makes substitutions, in-game management. All of that can be assessed. But in the cold light of day, it's a results-driven business. How many wins out of 10 does he need to make to get across all competitions for you to back him?
Well, I would say if he can get 6 or 7 or even 5. But as I say, I don't like the way he set up the team yesterday.
And I get that.
Daniel James, that guy's not doing anything, Terry. I don't know why Ole picked him. What has he done? What does he brings to the table?
Nothing.
Peter?
Absolutely
Right,
nothing. I agree with that point on Dan James that he should not be getting picked for this team. Completely and utterly get it. It's not enough to make me. It's not enough to make me turn on Ollie because Ollie has won 7 out of 10 games for on average now for 30 matches, and I think that's what the big important element is. TJ, I respect you giving the show a call. We are coming to the end here. Thank you. There's a couple of super chats I wanted to. Comments. Says Terry, what do you make about Patrice Evra's comments? I think they were completely hyperbolic, over the top, and fake. I don't believe for one single second Ollie believes in what he that Evra believes in what he said. We know this because his Man United team did it on multiple occasions where we wouldn't pick our best technical players. We'd pick the best team to win that particular match. It was done on a very regular basis indeed. Another comment here says, Terry, are you happy with the draw yesterday? No. I'm never happy when we draw a game. Does it make me want to rage and burn the house down? Absolutely not. Were there positives? Yes. Were there some negatives? Yes. It's about being balanced with it. That would be my view and approach. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you very much. As ever, hit the like button, share button, retweet button. Please go into the description below now. 1,500 of you sign up to the Football Terrace newsletter. We've got a massive competition starting soon to win football shirts, football boots, microphones, cameras, and a brand new PlayStation 5, 2 control pads, FIFA, all sent to you directly. You need to sign up to be part of the competition. It's free of charge, not going to cost you a penny. Click on the link in our description below to get that done. I'm going to spam the chat actually right now. I'm going to spam the chat with the link as well. Get yourself in there. Over 1,000 people have signed up in the last day or so, which is just absolutely, not just phenomenal, but humbling at the same time. Please go and get that done for us right about now. Big things coming for the Football Terrace. Big things coming for our community. But you obviously need to go and sign up and be part of that. Until next time, everyone, take care of yourselves. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you all soon.